Oh! Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hawk Rock Talk. I am Jason Gore.
I am Geoff Garlock, and I got to say, I'm always excited when that bed music comes up because I think, are we about to listen to Faith No More's Epic? And then within one note, I go, no, it ain't.
You know this is me, right?
That's you playing that?
I recorded this entire bed here. It's called Butt Rock Number 1.
Now it's that first beginning part does sound like it's going to start going in a don't.
Yeah.
Don't. You can feel it. See it.
Today. This is kind of like Faith No More meets Neil Young in a sense. It's like,
and isn't that the best way to describe Jason Gore?
And see it today. And if you can't, then it doesn't matter anyway.
There's a tractor in my balls.
You'll never understand. Yeah.
Really, there could be both a
Yes.
Mr. Bungle and a Neil Young shirt that both say
Please.
there's a tractor in my balls.
Please, one of you creative folks out there that does all the rock shirts, could you do a Neil Young, there's a tractor in my balls shirt for me?
Bullshit mashup shirts on the bootleg Instagram circuit. If you are,
and I live for them, guys.
I'm
not complaining. I am saying you are the artists.
You are the true artists of this world today, except for the ones that I order from you, and then it's like 8 weeks later, and you're like, I haven't even thought about printing.
Man, I
those.
haven't even screen printed that one. I don't know. You still like Genesis?
And luckily for them, I do. So it all
Did you fall
works
out of love with Jealousis?
Hey, Jealousis. It's
That
a
is
Gin
my,
Blossoms Genesis matchup.
That's my Gin Blossoms. It's my Genesis Blossoms is the name of my tribute band to both Gin Blossoms and Genesis. Hey, Jealousis. Tell me, do you think Phil would be all right if Tony could just crash here tonight?
He ain't gonna smile.
What other podcast, folks, is going to give you good old-fashioned Genesis jokes where you're like, huh?
What are they
They're the
talking
ones that
about?
did Invisible Touch, right? What?
Why
Okay.
are they talking about Genesis? And
Guys, welcome to Hawk Rock Talk. It is Hawk Rock Summer. It launches here. And all summer long, we're going to be doing, dives into rock albums, rock topics. Just going to have a lot of fun this Hawk Rock Summer as we wait for 108.9, the Hawk Series 7, to kick off on Monday, August 17th. And, Jeff, we were going to do a little bit of a surprise for you today, but I did give you a heads up of what I have in store for you today, just so you can kind of wrap your...
The cat got out of the bag.
Yeah, whoa, where's that cat coming from? I just wanted you to wrap your rock noggin around this topic, which is the horniest classic rock songs of the 1980s. We're going to review a few of them here, and by the end of this episode of Hawk Rock Talk, we might just declare who was the horniest rock band of the 80s.
Bow, bow.
Get
The
ready.
80s, one of the horniest times in rock.
Truly.
After the, let's touch upon it just a little bit, 70s.
Okay.
And the, let's really talk around it, 60s. And the,
yeah.
are they talking about sex? We can't look at that
50s.
person's crotch, 50s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the 60s were more like, hey, we're just having sex, and everyone's having sex, man, and it's great. And then the 70s were just like, oh, man, we're all high as a kite, and we're just having sex. And then the 80s were like, oh, man, I'm horny as a dog.
I am horny.
Oh, the cocaine is flowing, and I am a horny machine. There's so many great songs here that I picked a few. And, Jeff, I don't know if you know all of them. So
It's very possible not.
I am going to start with
Because we have talked on our Hawk Rock Talks before, especially on the Aerosmith episode about how,
oh, my God.
maybe the prudishness of myself.
Yes.
That one of my least topics in rock
Yeah.
is just straight up horniness.
Okay.
When there's a talk around, kind of, I'm like, sure, fine, whatever. But one of my big problems with Aerosmith, where I'm just like, you're basically just saying
one of your problems.
The long
with
list of
Aerosmith.
problems I have with Aerosmith.
Right.
But so yeah, this is one of the reasons that I was not a huge hair metal guy when I was a kid. I was too scared. I was too scared of what they were talking about.
Metal. I can't do it. You brought up a good point there, Jeff. As you brought up a really clear point as we talk about the horniest classic rock songs in the 1980s. It was very much based on hair metal.
Yeah,
like Aerosmith was seeing what the hair metal boys were doing, and then they're kind of like, putting that sort of flavor into Permanent Vacation and into Pump. We're not going to start with Aerosmith. We are going to start with probably one of the horniest songs I can think of, just right from the bat. You know what they're talking about. You know what they're getting to. We played this song a lot on 105.3 The Bear and WBRW Blacksburg. And I would do a show, and I'm sure I talked about this on a Hawk Rock Talk before. Every Saturday night from 9 until midnight, I would host a show called The Big Hairball. It was all hair metal.
What a disgusting name for a show, by the way.
The Big Hairball. I inherited it.
Sure.
From other hosts that just left over time. But then when I had
You're
it,
like
had
the Trump
top
administration,
lyrics.
constantly talking about the Biden administration.
Oh, constantly. But
Just
the thing
like-
about my tenure on the Big Hairball is my tenure led it to have a 76 share, which was just phenomenal Nielsen radio share in the area. Because the nice thing about the show was I did it with my quote-unquote brother, Steve Gore, one of my best friends, and a member of my band, DPW, and the brothers Gore, the drummer of the band, one of the best drummers around still. And the whole concept of the show, Jeff, it was 3 hours of hair metal, but in between, we would fuck with all of the callers.
Perfect.
With like different voices and characters. And some characters that I did on the Big Hairball have found themselves back to 108.9 The Hawk, like Clint, the producer Clint, who talks like this, that, gives Geoff Garlock a hard time every now and then. But this was one song we played every Saturday night without fail. It's the BulletBoys, and it's Smooth Up In Ya. Smooth Up In Ya! Like, there's no innuendo there whatsoever.
No.
The
BulletBoys had to make a name, They're just like, we gotta get up in there and go smooth up in
like
there.
guys, they're in the studio. They're probably like Sunset Sound, and they're like, I want this to sound just like really offensive from the start.
Let's not even start with music. Just have you scream it smooth up in ya.
And everyone knows, raise your hand in the studio here if you don't know what I'm referring to when I say smooth up in ya.
And the drummer put his hand up a little bit.
And then he put it down.
No one else put it down.
And then they're like, rolling, and then smooth up in ya. Have you ever heard this song?
I 1,000%. When you said horny, it was like, this is the one that popped in my head. I don't know if I would have ever known it was the BulletBoys.
Yeah.
Are they ex-members of or went onto bands at all?
So it was ex-members of the band King Cobra and Rat.
Okay.
The lyrics are, well, first off, Smooth Up In Ya, Mama Whoa, I know you really want to move me. You know I like to see you try. I said it before and I'll say it again. You're not my type if you don't begin. Looks like you're the hard kind. I ain't got that kind of time. I'm a busy person, folks.
I'm busy.
I am a bullet boy.
Jesus.
Oh, I send shivers. Smooth up in ya. Smooth up in ya. You say I'm never going to break ya. The rest of it, not as horny, but I don't think there is as an intro to any of these songs I'm going to play for you today as horny right from the start as Smooth Up In Ya. But then you're like, wait a second, Jason. What about Slide It In by Whitesnake?
Whitesnake is a band I've had a complicated relationship for a long time. I mean, they were definitely a band that my brother loved them a lot, and they made me uncomfortable.
Okay.
because they're definitely one of those videos I was like, I'm really young to be watching this with my mother, like with Tawny Kitaen flipping around. And then my mom took my brother to see Whitesnake, which is pretty amazing. But then they also
like 87, I imagine,
Yes.
like when that album came out.
when that album
like,
came
okay,
out, at probably like the New Haven Auditorium in
Right.
Connecticut.
New Haven Auditorium.
I would
Are
love to
you
know who
ready,
opens.
ready?
But they're also like a band that then you realize like they were in, David Coverdale was in one of the Deep Purple marks, right?
This is like basically this Whitesnake started as his extension of that Deep Purple mark.
Well, and
when
that's
he
it.
left
That when
Deep
I start
Purple.
getting into proto metal, then it was like, a lot of like, you got to check out those early Whitesnake records. They're not what you imagine. And then every time you do, you're like, boo, this, because they were pretty horny even then. And the album covers are like not as bad as Scorpion's Virgin Killer, but get there kind of sort of thing.
The album covers are like, yeah, we mean for that to be a Whitesnake, not for it to be anything else, mate.
Whitesnake's album covers are pretty close to Smell the Glove level, where they don't get it. They don't.
Where you know that those were definitely Spinal Tap influences.
Oh,
like those
100%.
album covers of the time.
100%.
Easily.
I mean, that is just a horny band all around.
Man, they are the horniest guys all around.
And look, Tawny Kitaen is just, that's a...
She followed me on Twitter for like 2 weeks.
Really?
And then she unfollowed me, and it really hurt.
Oh.
There's not many moments on Twitter where the celebrity unfollows me where it hurts me as much as Tawny Kitaen or Flava Flav.
Did you make too many bachelor party jokes? And she
I
was like, I
probably
can't do
did.
that.
I probably did. Like,
I do
hey,
love her in Bachelor Party. Shit's great.
I'm like, hey, this Twitter joke's going to make you laugh like you're rolling around on a car hood. And she's like, bloop, unfollow. But here
this
you
one's
go.
for my good friend Adrian Zamed.
Hey, Adrian Zamed out there. Here we go. This is what it is. Kind of Hagar.
Very Hagar.
Here we go. Slide it in. Slide it in. I'm adding some Gene Simmons there where it's needed.
This is also one of the problems with the sexy 80s. Is that, like, he went for the rhyme on that. Like, he went for, like, ain't gonna stop, but then it was like, all right, I'm gonna slide it in. Sure.
Yeah.
Gross. But right to the top. And there's a weirdness where I'm like, I mean, in some positions I get, but like it's
I'm
just like,
gonna fill you up with this one. Right
I
up
guess
to
it's
the
like
top.
if like with a coffee, like, can I top you off? Like sort of thing. But it
That's
feels,
what they say to me at Waffle House all the time. They're like, hey, could I slide in some more coffee right up to
I
the
do
top?
love that Whitesnake song, Scattered, Smothered, and Covered.
Oh, my God. So
which
good.
is another sexual song from Whitesnake, if you know what I mean. Scattered, smothered, and covered. All over your
They're like, stop it. Don't say it. Don't say the P word.
And then the drummer is like, I want it diced. And you're like, ooh.
Oh,
hey,
God, this guy.
This guy with it. Bad enough you're putting tomatoes in this thing.
So
My God.
when I say smooth opinion, we're all on the same page, right? Everybody just raise your hand.
Bass players muttering cubed. And they're like, all right, you want ham. And they're like, I guess it's kind of sexual, too.
I
but
guess it works. So this is Slide It In.
Was he as horny in Deep Purple? No, right?
I don't think he was as horny. Like, Deep Purple was always about, like...
riding, driving around, and doing a
Yeah.
bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, and the one thing that Whitesnake doesn't have that Deep Purple has, and you can see that it's like the clear difference between the two bands, is, you don't have that driving organ in Whitesnake.
You do have a driving organ, and Whitesnake is just the difference.
Excuse me.
Type.
Let me. Yeah. Okay. I guess I am incorrect. Everybody, there is a driving organ in Whitesnake, and his name is David Coverdale. Yeah. Slide it in. I'm the driving organ here.
I didn't think through these lyrics.
I like to think of Slide It In by Whitesnake as the song equivalent of someone winking with both eyes, if you know what I mean. Here's another one that I can't think of the horny rock 80s without playing this one, Jeff. You tell me what you think about this. It might be your favorite song. The lyrics, if you didn't understand what Paul Stanley was saying right there, it says, baby, let's put the X in sex. Love's like a muscle, and you make me want to flex.
Oh, my God. It is. He's chilled a bit on it, but it's complicated having my son's first favorite band be Kiss. And as I think we've talked about before, it was also complicated when he was very into Scooby-Doo, and they had that newer Scooby-Doo meets Kiss cartoon. And I believe I sent you the screen grab where I think Paul Stanley, one, keeps hitting on the redhead, not Velma. He doesn't care for Velma.
You're talking about Daphne.
But then he also at one point says, let's put the X in X-ray, I believe. Which is odd when you're realizing it's a reference to this song.
Yeah.
And they also, I'm pretty sure, play Love Gun at some point, which is another complicated song to have a 5-year-old listening to.
I'll read some poetry if you don't mind,
please,
Jeff, because I am a poet sometimes. So here it goes. She said, ooh, yeah, I wish that I was there. I asked her who was calling, but she wasn't playing fair. Sometimes you gotta suffer for the pleasure that you seek. You're begging for an eyeful, but you only get a peek.
Ew.
Baby, let's put the X in sex.
Here's my question.
Thank you.
Again, maybe
Here's my answer, if I can.
I would love to give an answer to this. What is the X in sex?
If I have to, come up with a really smart theory, it's making it extra dirty. Like XXX.
Okay. Because like I said, I'm thinking position
thinking.
immediately. So it's just like, is this just your weird, long-winded way to be like, how about we try making our two bodies into an X? Which doesn't seem fun for anyone. And in that position, especially if it's with Paul Stanley doing it.
It's hard to say.
But, most of his lyrics, it's hard to say what exactly he's getting with. That's the hard part. Here's the problem.
He doesn't tell you right to the point, Jeff. He's not going to give it to you. He's going to walk around it a little bit, right?
The problem with Kiss being so sexual is that they make you feel bad. They make you feel bad for being like us sitting here going is the X like a sexual position?
I feel bad about this.
And then when he's like, I know what he's saying with get an eyeful. It's like, oh, look at my dick.
Right.
But
you're going to get an eyeful, baby.
You're making me into the monster being like an eyeful of semen? Is this what you're going for? Because
I think it's more of like a hit, like a dab from his penis.
A little dabble.
I think it's like a little slap more than just anything happening.
And again, I didn't think about that, and you're the one thinking about this, and now it's just you're doing this to us, Paul. I didn't ask for this. I don't want to picture you slapping someone around with your penis.
It's gonna hit you this way.
Oh God.
It's gonna hit you that way. And this comes from the compilation Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. And you think, oh, they stop there. They stop there. They're not gonna go song 2 with You make me rock hard, baby, all night. Love's like a glove and it fits just right.
Have they ever had is this a little too on the nose conversation in Kiss?
I mean, that's probably why Peter Criss was fired. He's like, can we do more songs that are just it wouldn't be that voice. It would be like, hey, is there any way we can do more songs that sound more like Beth? I don't want to get away from all this penis dab stuff, Paul.
They must have always had a complicated relationship with Ace and Peter's accents.
Yeah.
The other two are Gene's pulling his oh, hello, I'm sensual and sexual. And then, Paul Stanley's always like, and I'm just talking like this. And then they're over here freaking, it's like they're in Sick of It All or Agnostic Front. They're in a New York hardcore band. It's hey, how we doing over here, you freaking guys?
It's me, Peter Criss. Beth, I hear you calling.
try desperately to not have it be Quoing so you can't understand a word he's saying.
But I can't come home right now. I'm going British. It's so New York, I go British.
I mean, it's like Gangs in New York. Yep. Yeah, musically, that's a dope song, too. That's the problem. Like, it sounds like it could be on a weird soundtrack I would listen to. King Cobra's, I believe, from Iron Eagle, right?
I think so, yeah.
That's a Carmine Appice band. I really like King Cobra. The album is pretty good. Better than the BulletBoys, I would say.
Oh, God, Kiss.
Like, you think, and that's the other part, too, and that's probably the last thing we'll say on Kiss for now, it's like, you think they can't get any sleazier.
Right.
And then the way they get sleazier is to just be like, we're going to put no thought into what we're saying. We're just going to be so... And that's the thing. The 80s happens, and they were like, hey, now we don't have to have innuendo. And then everyone else was like, what innuendo? What were you talking about? You never had.
You guys had innuendo before? Christine 16? She was 16. You said it.
That would be a not fun Rock Talk is a list of the amount of underage rock songs.
Oh, God. I don't want to do that. That'll just make me...
more complicated as we get older to listen to and be like, hey, I might have to skip this track.
Oh, no. Please. God, no. Also, when it comes to the 80s and 80s rock, I truly don't think there is and it's going to be very hard at the end of this episode, Jeff.
It is.
Come, you say it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you, Peter Chris, for weighing in. Oh, it's going to be awkward.
It's hard to not turn into like Al Goldstein from Screw magazine. Like if you ever heard him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
When he's just like, oh, yeah. That, which I will say, just that, of course, this is Hawk Rock Talks. So that means we're going to do an aside on a fantastic SNL sketch when they did the audio book for Madonna's Sex.
Yeah.
And they had Charlton Heston doing the audio. But then Danny DeVito did a fantastic, I believe.
Yeah.
He might have been trying to do Bob Guccione, but it sounded like Al Goldstein to me. And he's like, oh, this one makes you horny.
Oh, you're going to be horny.
All of these songs from the 80s have that voice in my head of Danny DeVito saying, this one makes you real horny.
Oh, God, she's horny. This was a very horny song for me growing up, watching MTV way too much as a kid, probably 11 years old. 10 or 11 years old, 88, 89 in that area, and MTV would not stop playing this video.
Ooh, Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
I mean, as an 11-year-old, prepubescent hitting puberty, I will say this was a very, it's a very well-loved video in the Jason Gore sitting alone during the summer watching too much MTV household.
Bobby Brown. I believe I brought this up in other episodes, but on my old podcast, Canon, we would call that a phantom tingle. When you have a moment when you're watching a movie as an adult and you're like, why do I feel odd? That I'm like having the feeling of not just like, oh, I'm like, you know, this person is attractive, but like that feeling when you're like, oh no, I don't even know what I'm feeling watching this video.
Yeah.
I believe we coined it during the movie Mannequin with Kim Cattrall.
I'm with that. Yeah.
Yes. Where it was just like, I don't know why I keep watching this montage of her changing her clothes when I'm 9 years old, but I keep doing it.
I would also say like, I keep watching that video over and over, and every time I'm just like, ooh. But there is one part of the cherry pie video that takes you right out of it.
I know exactly what it is.
And it would be, let's see if it
lets
me. If you're watching, I highly recommend you watch these on Patreon, folks. You can listen to these too. These are made for audio, but I'm going to say you're getting really into the video and you're like, man, she is very attractive. You're not saying this as an age. You're like, oh, she's hot, man.
Sure.
Oh, God. And then all of a sudden, this happens.
Ugh. This is, I mean,
Janie Lane has like this big,
JD Lane,
weird, goofy.
He's got a Tom Petty style smile.
Yeah.
And it is mixed with the Joker.
Hey, everybody, it's Tom Petty for Warrant's Cherry Pie.
And it is a total boner killer.
Swinging on the front porch, swinging on the lawn, swinging where we want because there's nobody home.
I
These
think
are
the only other
craziest
thing
lyrics.
killing the vibe of Cherry Pie is the now knowledge that that's the song that they wrote in 5 minutes because the label said they need a hit. And he says he shit it out and that it destroyed him. Like, I don't know if you remember that behind the
stomach
music.
wise, like he ate a lot of corn. Is that what you mean?
No, it like destroyed him. That's what they got famous
that
for.
was the hit,
and that's possibly one of the reasons that he is no longer with us.
Really?
Like that, it's like it was like a pretty depressing. I remember it was like a VH1. Like I think it might have been a behind the music, and he was like still pretty angry that it's like. That wasn't supposed to be our life. Like every other song we wrote.
What did you expect to be your life? Because you're writing songs like Down Boys.
I mean, that was a dope song, though.
And then you've got Uncle Tom's Cabin from the record, Cherry Pie as well. And also you wrote Heaven, which was a huge hit, man. Like Heaven was a school dance banger.
It was. I think, according to Janie Lane, though, it's like
that's what he wanted to be.
Cherry
More
Pie
about
was
that
pure garbage. That's the hard part, honestly, of these hair metal bands.
Right.
Is that they all had virtuosos. They all were great musicians, but the songs that hit were usually the ones where it was like, we talked about it with Extreme.
Yeah.
Where it was like the ballad or the dumb song about sticking your finger in a cherry pie, which feels like he's doing a parody of a Kiss song or a David Coverdale song. But, that's the problem with the horny 80s is you have the horny reality after the 80s.
That's going to be one of the poll quotes when AV Club writes about this episode. They're going to be like, yeah, and Jeff had a really good point about the 80s. And this song here,
also
Jeff,
announcement that AV Club is back and anyone cares about
guys,
it.
Get ready. Who's even writing about podcasts anymore? I can't even answer that question for you.
If anyone out there knows who's writing about podcasts,
we sure would like to know. That's how tuned in we are.
Shout out to Nathan Rabin for always
shout out to the only podcast writer. So this song counts as horny and creepy at the same time. And I think you know where
that's exactly the equation I love.
Oh yeah, math. Here's where it gets you right here. Daddy says she's too young, but she's old enough for me.
I mean,
you can understand why Metallica was throwing darts at a picture of Kip Winger in the year and a half in the life of Metallica documentary, really.
And yet also
probably
being
for
creeps
this
because they had a bunch of Playboy centerfolds up next to the winger, and you're like, oh, your guys are creeps.
We're
too.
still average creeps, but we're also giving it to Kip Winger.
But we shave the sides of our heads, so.
The funny thing about Winger, for me, outside of this just...
terrible song?
I mean, just, it's frightening.
And it's frightening that this was such a big hit.
It was huge. This was also all over MTV.
Yeah.
But when you talk about hair metal, the thing that always gets me, and I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind, guys. Like, you have all of these hair metal guys, and you know exactly what I'm about to say, where they're like, oh, man, people didn't give Winger enough credit, man. That band was just the best. They were the best musicians. Yeah, sure, they may have been the best musicians, but it's all negated by this song.
I know, that's the crazy. They fall in that category where everyone was like, yeah, had the best guitarists. But the only thing we know about Winger, and I have no desire to dive into the rest of Winger, is especially bass. You're just hearing it also just go like boom, 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 boom. Like Michael Anthony would be like, geesh, man, maybe put in a couple extra notes. It's a bummer. That's the thing. That's the problem, man, with the sexy 80s is sometimes they're one man sexy is another's illegality.
I understand this. Like, is Kip Winger presenting this like it was a trap? Like, she whispered sweet and led him to the floor, and it's like, by the way, I'm 17.
Yeah.
This was shit.
This was a precursor to that TV show where they would just trap pedos. What was that one where they
Trapping
would be like,
pedos?
Trapping pedos, I believe, is the Channel 8 version.
What
was that show called? Where they would have someone like come by, they'd like set up a sting.
Oh, are you like? Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You're like, oh, always you just sit down.
What would you do, or something like that?
It wasn't what would you do.
Yeah,
this is
that
one
had
that's
nothing
killing
to do
me.
with
This
pedos.
is we can remember all these bands, but I can't
Right.
remember this fucking stupid show. Either way,
We can remember "Smooth Up In Ya" by BulletBoys, where everyone's like, "I kind of remember that song." I
we
don't
can see
know
here
what they're talking
about
but
the
it's
soundtrack
kinda
to
funny.
Iron Eagle, but
Yeah.
either way. Oh, To Catch a Predator.
To catch, I mean, easy
They
title.
should have made this the theme song to Catch a Predator.
Another 80s classic is from the album Look What the Cat Dragged In. It's Poison and Talk Dirty to Me.
An entire band based off of the sexy 80s.
Yes. And everything that we read about Poison in that really great book, Nothing But a Good Time. If you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it. They talk about how Poison would just like glom onto like any woman they could, just to like a woman that would like feed them and house them and take care of them. And that's how they like survived their hungry period before they made it.
That's where I was just like, musically I love them, metal, and then I was like, but I'm a punk kid, because like when you watch Decline of Civilization, Western Civilization, especially like part 2, the metal years, and they're all telling that story, and you're just like, that's not cool. Like that's not a great story. Like that it's just like we would basically like use all these women to get food,
right,
and like get bags of groceries so we could flyer down at Zagari's or whatever that fucking place was.
Meanwhile, Metallica's eating loser lunch. Like, do you remember them talking about loser lunch? It was like, James Hetfield's like, yeah, it's just a piece of bologna in your hand.
I mean,
which
I'll
is
say, that's the thing. I was like watching that and then end up going on tour. And like, I think I've talked about, we would go on tour with this band, The Red Scare. And they would, and the guitarist, Kip, ended up being in Panthers with us for 6 years. But they would have mustard tacos. Which was just, they would get a loaf of white bread and they had mustard, and they literally would just fold up one piece.
What kind of mustard bread. Are we talking? Like French's? We talking
French's
Dijon?
Yellow.
Oh,
French's bright yellow. I think I asked one. I was like, that actually sounds kind of good, and I got one once. I was just like, guys, what are we doing here? We're on tour for 5
that sounds
weeks.
Pretty good. That sounds great. Hey, hit me up with one of those.
Yo, hit me up with one of them mustard tacos,
please. I have one of those. Oh, it's that simple. Great.
That was a loser lunch. But
what is hornier, Jeff? Talk Dirty to Me or
I want action tonight, satisfaction.
Because I Want Action is basically from the storyline of they're hitting the Sunset Strip. They got their Aquanet. They're going to fly her, and they have no plans after midnight if you would like to fuck any member of Poison.
Yeah. You know, they're both really horny.
They're incredibly horny. Yeah.
I don't know if either of them really is horny in a good way.
No, none of these are, Jeff. These are not like, I'm not saying
a lot like
the horniest classics of all time.
It
in
showed up
one collection.
It showed up on Instagram. And I remember I was like, oh man, I watched this a lot. Do you remember that True Life episode that was like almost like a precursor to the Jersey Shore TV show? And they talked to the Dog Brothers. And it's these two freaking proto Jersey Shore dudes who like were like brothers who their whole thing was about scamming on chicks. And it would talk about the spray tans they would get, and it would go out into the club.
I remember that. Yes,
and they brought a nerd with them to the club and told them how to do their game. But it was just like, even as a kid, I do remember just being like, this is depressing. And that's often how it felt with Poison and like the constant just like scamming for it. Also, is Poison, I'm not sure I ever liked, my aunt loved Poison a lot, but I always felt like they didn't fall in the category of everyone defending like Winger. Whereas,
not at all.
They're
Nobody
a bunch
would
of
defend
slobs
Poison
on their instruments. Like,
right.
they're not the best.
And I think the other bands like a BulletBoys or a Pretty Boy Floyd or a Jet Boy were like jealous of their
Oh,
success.
Jet Boy was always the one we should have looked
Oh
out for.
God, you should be talking about Jet Boy.
Or Cinderella, my later day love of realizing
Yeah.
Cinderella's a pretty amazing band.
Yeah, I don't even. This next song I'm going to play
Shake
for
Me
you, Jeff.
is should be in this.
You think Shake Me should be?
Shake Me should be in this because Shake Me also falls in the category where when my kid was a certain age, my wife, all of a sudden we were driving and she goes, do you ever think that sometimes you should turn a song off? Because like I just sometimes don't. And I think she said it with Mötley Crüe's Girls, 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 which should be on this list.
It is on this list.
But Shake Me was definitely in there where like my son loves Shake Me. But it's also like...
Yeah, I know. Here, I mean, from this point right here. We made it once, she said, make me again. And she wrapped her love around me all night long.
But I do love Cinderella. I mean,
I do too.
if they thought, what if Brian Johnson was growlier? And that's how they get away with it. You're just like, what the fuck is he talking about? All right,
I'll tell
it's
you
cool.
what, man. They should have gone with Tom Kiefer over Axl Rose when they needed an AC/DC replacement.
Yeah.
When Brian
my
Johnson
God.
had that ear thing and he's like, I
And-
can't do the tour, mate. And they're like, well, we're going to do it anyway. Sorry.
You know my hatred of Guns N' Roses and my love of Cinderella, so I would have been all for that. Tom Kiefer singing for AC/DC.
And you knew this one, Jeff. You knew it was coming. There's only one song in the 80s that basically lists every active strip club in the continental U.S.
This
Of
is
course,
a
it's
crazy
Girls,
song.
Girls, Girls. And it
It's
lists
a
them all,
crazy
guys.
song. It's a crazy, crazy song. Every line
Long
is
legs
insane.
and burgundy lips.
Me and my best friend Eric sing this to each other all the time. Yeah, red lips, fingertips.
Yeah. Yankee girls, you just can't be beat. You're the best when you're off your feet. Girls, Girls, Girls. At the Dollhouse in Fort Lauderdale. Rocking in Atlanta at Tat Hotels. They never
God.
mentioned Pink Pony. I lived over by the Pink Pony when I lived in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, I mean, I understand Tattletale. You also don't say Claremont Lounge.
That would be amazing if they were shouting out Claremont Lounge and Goldie, who would
Hanging
punch
out
you.
with Goldie at Claremont Lounge.
Goldie, who would punch you with her breasts. We played in Atlanta once, and that everyone went over, but I didn't go over. And then I came back, and like our roadie Jesse was like, "I have bruises from Goldie just beating me up." My favorite line, besides just listing off strip clubs, is "Forgot the names, remembered romance."
You have to have the rhyme, Jeff, and that is. And I got to tell you, when I was young and hearing this, I thought he was referring to Crazy Horse from Neil Young and Crazy Horse.
Of course, and he probably was.
I just
Maybe he went to
assumed.
Crazy Horse in Paris, France, with Crazy Horse from Neil Young.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
not. I got the photos of Menage a Trois. Must have broke those French's laws with those.
I think it was probably there where my wife said, maybe we should turn some songs off now and then. Yeah,
Best
I
part
love,
of the
too,
song,
that
though,
Vince
and
Neil is like, it's still romantic. I'm like, I remember the romance. Like, I'm like, that's what you call that? Yeesh.
Also, this song features the precursor to what Weezer would later do with Undone the Sweater song, where they're all talking like, hey, dude, you going to the party? That
is another thing, me and my best friend.
Starts with a good, hey, Tommy.
Yeah.
It's like Tommy's not gonna know.
That's the realest.
You gotta
That's
point
the
it out
realest.
for Tommy.
Man, that's on like the list of like 10 things I can just say to my best friend and he knows what I'm talking. Or it's just like, hey man, you see that over there? Oh man, yeah, what's going on? Just like
What? Where?
just much like Tommy's chapters written by him in the dirt could not sound more like the real Tommy.
I
And
tell you what,
that is a feat of writerness. Like
Yes,
it's just like
yeah.
that book is disgusting and impressive that they all can sound like themselves in their individual chapters, and that Tommy is just like adult, just like he is in Girls, Girls, Girls.
Hey, when I moved here to Los Angeles in 2021, within the first week of me living here, it's like, smacking a bottle on a ship to baptize it as being a ship. I was almost run off the road by Tommy Lee and his Porsche on the 134.
Of course. Probably getting a road BJ while it was happening. You just didn't know what was going on. It's like, hey, man, what's going on over there?
What? Where? RAV4? Where? I'm getting a road BJ.
I think where is just his catchphrase. He just says it all the time.
Everybody!
Hey, Billy, I heard you got a new song. You want to play it for me? I'll stop by the studio. Wait, what's this
about? It's another cool big anthem, right, Billy Squire?
What is this about?
Let's not get into it too much.
What's the word?
You're talking about your guitar neck, right? You're
right.
You're guitar neck.
No? Wait a second. Was 38 special in here?
Hold on loosely.
2 songs in the masturbation category here for Horniest classic rock songs of the 80s. You got The Stroke, Billy Squire, and Hold On Loosely by 38 Special.
You know what, though, we can throw in there in the masturbation special of the 80s?
What's that?
The surprise masturbation specials of the 80s. Squeeze. Pulling Muscles from a Shell, 1980.
Really?
That's supposedly, as far as I know, what he's talking about. Pulling muscles from a shell, I think, is about jerking the gherkin.
I thought it was about eating mussels, Jeff, but I also thought that Vince Neil was talking about Crazy Horse, the band.
I don't know what year would Violent Femmes be.
Oh, it would definitely be in there.
So, what is it, Big Hand or whatever the fuck that song is? That's
I'm
about jerking off, too. I am not a fan either.
At all.
But that's another song about masturbation.
But what about the Cars, Ann? I mean, right there in front of you. Rick Ocasek's like, song's called Tonight She Comes. You're like, Rick, really? Like, why don't we call it I Know Tonight? And they're like, nope.
She's going to come.
Tonight she comes. She's going to come.
Hey,
they're like, do you mean like to the studio or where you're having? No. Pretty cut and dry, guys. Pretty. And Benjamin Orr's like, I'm not singing this one.
And Little River Phoenix, or not River Phoenix, River
Little River Phoenix.
Little River Phoenix was down at the Viper Room.
Down at Tattoo Tales.
And probably River Cuomo's hair metal band was playing at the Viper Room, and he heard this car song, and he was like, ooh, I could get creepy in my songs? Oh, this is going to work out great for me.
I could be a total creep in my music?
Oh,
Love
awesome.
it.
I could be a surprising creep so that you realize I'm kind of an incel with most of my songs. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be great.
Now, we have a few songs left to play, and listener and viewer, you're going to be like, guys, you didn't play all the horny hits, and there's only so much time for horny rock and roll.
This is all the horny hits, volume 1.
This is volume 1.
This is rock and roll, baby. There are a lot of horny hits out there.
There's a lot of horny hits of the 80s, but there's one moment of one rock song that might top them all, and that is... Where it's like, they're like, oh, that's definitely it. This is Steven Tyler. Are you in there in the room? He's like, that's definitely. And of course, that's Loving an Elevator, folks. Loving it up when I'm going down. It's about an elevator, right?
Yeah. It's just about.
Yeah.
Again, do you think there was ever a moment in Aerosmith where at least someone, Joey Kramer or someone, was just like, we're just going to sing a song about fucking in an elevator?
Like,
that's it?
Guys,
that's what this is?
I know the album's wrapped up and the album art's done and it's being shipped, but we might have 1 second here, Aerosmith, to do something for ourselves. And they're like, what do you mean, Joey? What I mean is, let's take Love in an Elevator off of the record.
And then when that song went number 1, they all looked at him and go, you son of a...
You were never listening to you again. You're...
I say this as someone who loves rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this as someone who loves classic rock. it's like just a sign of what is the problem with America, that Aerosmith just keeps coming back. Is that you think they're dead, and then we're like, no, we're going to talk about fucking in an elevator, and they're like, #1 hit! Aerosmith is back, baby!
These guys are going to throw you their car keys, and then they're going to fucking vanish. But you're going to listen to their horny song called Legs.
My God.
I love how the guitar's like, what? That's like their where, Vince, where?
Yeah. ZZ Top was a confusing band for me, just like Whitesnake, too, because, you know, when you're a kid.
Facial hair.
I mean, every aspect about them. And you are like, in registering a bit, you're like, everyone looks old to me because I'm 8, but like,
right.
They definitely look older. They got this facial hair. And then they're one of those bands where you're like, oh, wait, why? They keep getting like props from people. They keep getting, and then all of a sudden you're like, is it true that Jimi Hendrix said that Billy Gibbons is like one of his favorite guitarists ever? And you're sitting there going like, the guy who wrote Legs?
But
like,
truthfully, man, he is.
Well,
like,
that is the thing. Then you listen to old
guitarist.
ZZ Top and you're like, oh, wait a second. But like, that is also the crazy trick of the sexy 80s. Is that some of these bands, your Whitesnakes, your ZZ Tops, they had this other life. Aerosmith is the fucking undying zombie of these bands. But that, like, you're like, oh, wait, I have to go back. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, Jesus, like, ZZ Top is a completely different band than I imagined. I mean, look, it's a Genesis factor here, too. But, you know.
Here's the thing about Legs. It's lightly horny. It's horny in that grown man kind of respectful kind of way. Like, look at that. She's got legs. She knows how to use them.
You like Playboy magazine, and you ain't getting Penthouse.
Yeah.
And you're definitely not getting Hustler. Like, all of a sudden, that's dirty. That's disgusting. But I can own an issue of Playboy.
I would like to say Kristen just opened the door and said, father figure. And yes, if this was the horniest pop songs of the 1980s, which we might have to do, honestly.
Right.
We might have to, like, father figure counts in there. Father figure counts in there. Probably in the same way that, like, 17 by Winger. It's probably in that category there. But you got to remember, like, I think that the ZZ Top's Legs is respectfully horny coming from the band that wrote this. Technically, this counts. It's 81, folks. It's 81, so this is one of the horniest songs. I should have never even played Legs when Pearl Necklace was always on the table, guys. It was always there on the table.
Can I say at this point, too, that I do have to recommend, I pulled it from my bookshelf. I've talked about it before. If anyone can get a copy of this book, My Dead Dad was in ZZ Top by John Glaser. John Glaser, just one of the greatest comedians ever, one of the biggest influences to me ever. But
we got to have Glaser on.
I would love to have Glaser
Let's see if we can have Glaser on for Series 7.
And this is something, if you don't have a copy, I should let you borrow it. This was like, I don't know how he did, but he used to do these at Comedy Death Ray and invite them up. But he would, and it's when I heard him reading the original letter, that was basically all these letters to rock and roll. Like, he's got Pink Floyd, Cream, they're all in here. But it legitimately was that he tells this story about how his dad passed away, and he finds a letter that made him realize his dad was in ZZ Top as a keyboard player. And it's the back and forth of him calling out ZZ Top. At one point, he wanted to change the name to TT Zop because he thought ZZ Top was a dumb name. And then the biggest thing at one point that made me always laugh was just like, he's like, you're dumb. The band name is dumb. Tush is a stupid bass line. It's a perfect book. And that letter is like truly one of the funniest things I have ever heard or read. We might have to share it on our Instagram, but we should get Glaser because it was just like, I was like, I'm not alone. I'm not alone in thinking classic rock is so funny and that we need to mine it.
And that's where 108.9 The Hawk comes from.
Got that right, baby.
You got that right, baby. Okay, so this is the final song we're playing on this 1980s salute to the horniest rock songs of the 80s. And also, Jeff, it might be difficult to argue another band that is hornier than this one. And, of course, I'm talking about Pasadena's finest.
Oh, my God.
Van Halen.
Listen to those horny drums.
These are the horniest drums ever played.
This is like teenage sex. This is like
Yeah.
you're like out of control. You don't know what's going on.
Ow!
You're like, wait, the rhythm's not there. You're out of control. I don't know what's going on. Where am I? Where am I? Jesus.
What do you think the teacher's gonna look like this here?
Did you know that they say, it says, what do you think the teacher's going to look like this year? And in the background, someone goes, fuck, man. Have you ever noticed that? Here it is.
Never
Listen.
Here.
What do you think the teacher's gonna look like this here?
Fuck, man.
One of the funniest songs.
Oh, easily.
Easily one of the funniest songs. And I do think it falls in the category. We have said it before. It's not horny, but it falls in the category of the David Lee Roth solo videos where you're like, this is really problematic and it's frustrating because I'm laughing when he goes, I don't feel tardy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that is an insane. Whoa!
Fuck, man.
Truly, also, every little section where they talk, I always think it ends with him going, whoa! Even though it doesn't. I know he says class dismissed, but in my heart of hearts, he's always going, whoa! And now there is always someone yelling, fuck man, in the back.
Fuck, man. I don't think it gets hornier than
I think
Van
that might be
Halen,
Keg
guys.
Stand saying fuck man in the
I
back.
mean, probably-
Keg Stand, was that you? Guilty as charged, Keg Stand.
man.
All right.
So you sound off at us on Instagram, Blue Sky. If you're listening to this on the Patreon, where you should be listening to all of this and just joining a great rock comedy community at patreon.com/1089 The Hawk. And yeah, who do you think? What are your horniest classic rock songs?
Give us your horny songs. Give us your Phantom Tingle songs. Give us your Lover Boys. Give us your.
Yeah, there are some songs we did not play. Like we didn't play. Like this came up on the radio while I was listening today, and I was like, I don't know if I've ever heard this song before in my life. Hot Girls in Love by Lover Boy. But this song, when it was on, I was like, Jesus Christ, is this a Cheap Trick song I've never heard? Like, listen to this.
Hot girls in love. I'm in love.
And if we're going to talk Cheap Trick and 80s songs that are relatively horny, I mean, I think we kind of have to close this episode with...
Then she answers and she says right away. She says, I'm home on my own. Home all alone. Though I got off the phone. She's tight.
What a great song, man. Oh, my God. I might have to
from
go
a
down
band
there.
that half of them should not be that horny.
Yeah, and the other two are just the most horniest guys you've ever seen because they're regular schlubs like you and me.
My God. But yes, give us your horny songs. Let us know what we missed. Let us know what you would have heard on here.
Yep.
And the best place to do that is on our Patreon, patreon.com/1089 The Hawk.
Hawk Rock Summer continues on. We'll be back next week with another edition of Hawk Rock Talk. And of course, starting on August 17th, of course, Series 7 of 108.9 The Hawk starts. Thank you for listening. We will be back with more next week. More Hawk Rock Talk. Hawk Rock Summer!